Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sterling Live. My name is Caitlin Brower. I am Sterling's Director of Public Relations and Social Media and your host for Sterling Live, our weekly live series on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And again, so happy to have you all here for another episode. We've had some great episodes to start 2024, and they are just getting better. So with me today, third time back on Sterling Live, we have Jeff Walmsley, Practice Leader Retail. And as you can see on the bottom of our screen here, this is our topic today. We are going to explore the state of hiring and background screening in the retail industry. Jeff, welcome back. Third time. Very excited to have you here. But if people don't remember you, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience? They do remember you, but just in case.
I hope so. Like you said, it's the third time, right? Once it's a fluke, twice is a coincidence, three times, that's a trend. That's a trend, right?
All right.
Which is appropriate for today's topic, right? Talking about retail trends in the industry. So
there's a lot of trends
there, but I am our practice leader for our entire retail vertical. And I have been with Sterling about 10 years now. So I'm excited to dig into not only the evolution of the practice itself, but how this report came to be and how our clients and prospective soon-to-be clients can leverage this information.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff to go over today. I did like the little trends note that you gave out in the beginning, because we are definitely talking about a lot of trends. So I want to remind our audience quickly, if you are watching live on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, you can ask Jeff questions throughout the episode. Just go into the comment section across all three of these platforms, and I will get them over to him as I see fit. Let's dive right into it. Last week, we launched a brand new report, Hiring Imagined Retail Industry. Can you go ahead and give our audience a high-level overview of the methodology around this report? And then also explain why is it important that we're doing reports like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me take a step back for a second, because like I mentioned, to really unravel the origin of this report is to take a look at our industry focus as a whole. So about 10 years ago, we started that verticalization practice process with the intent to really be leaders within the respective industries that our clients are in. And what we found is arguably the best byproduct of doing this is the benchmarking that's come out of it. Because inevitably, as talking with clients or prospective clients, and we mentioned that we're only working with retail clients and clients that are similar in their size, they ask the question, well, what are they doing? You know, it's like a keeping up with the Joneses type scenario. And so that's what really prompted this type of report to come to be. And we were able to compile it through several different data sources. First of all, Randy Siegel, our marketing lead, fantastic, helped send a survey out to all our retail clients to really ask them about current obstacles they're facing, the landscape of their specific business in comparison to retail as a whole, and trends that they're experiencing. So we started with that from the survey data, and we paired that with our own really anecdotal data that we have from conversations with clients, because we're always doing weekly, daily touch bases on any given topic, on top of quarterly business reviews that attract a larger audience and more conversation. And then we also took a look at some industry reports and just what's out there in the general ether of data, and then took a look internally at our own reporting capabilities in terms of volume of packages and services that our retail clients most commonly leverage. And we took all that together and created this great report.
Yeah. It is so important to be ahead of these industry trends and what's going on for us as an organization to help our clients, to help potential clients, and just really staying ahead and having a pulse of what is happening. You know, I do appreciate your shout out to Randy. Actually, if you are watching on LinkedIn right now, she has put the report in the comment section. So go ahead, take a look, not right now, listen to the episode, then go take a look at the report later on, because you're going to learn a lot more about some of the things that we're going to be going over in more detail on today's episode. But yeah, just really good explanation as to why Sterling does things like this. I will say, you know, working in public relations and social media, it's great. I always stay ahead of the trends and look at what's happening online, but nothing is more important and like critical to me is when I actually sit down with other professionals in the space or a B2B specific organization. That's where I'm learning the most. So it's great that Sterling's doing this. I'm so happy we published this report. There's a lot in there. So let's give a little bit of a teaser here. Some of the things that we saw in the report.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Our leaders in the retail space, obviously. So what did we see that was top priorities for these leaders in this specific industry?
So this probably isn't a surprise to the retailers listening, but speed, time to hire, speed is king in retail. It has been, it will continue to be. It's an extremely competitive applicant pool. And it was interesting, but again, not surprising to see 83% of large retailers are really struggling with attracting talent and getting that talent in there to begin with. But it's a consistent theme regardless of the size there. So we're consistently looking at ways to reducing that time to hire. And we do that from a couple different angles. The first of which being we encourage every client to have packages that are specific to the positions they are hiring for. And so it's not a cookie cutter type solution, right? And I'll give you a good examples. Take a convenience store or a gas station, for instance. If you have a part-time hourly cashier, part-time hourly population with a lot of turnover, that package and those services, that could and should look different than a manager or a key holder position, which will then look different than a corporate position, which can look different from a distribution or a warehouse position, which then differs from driving positions. So it's important, just as a baseline, to get all the packages configured in a way that makes sense, both from a speed element as well as a mitigating cost element, without sacrificing safety and compliance.
So you're looking at two big things with speed and cost, but the packages might be a little bit different. So definitely a priority for these leaders to understand how they can achieve both of those two things, but make sure they are specific to all of the roles that you had just mentioned within one particular, retail organization. So no surprise, as you said, to be a top priority. Sterling invests a lot into automation and technology to make sure that, we are furthering that for our clients. Do you see that tying into what we heard from HR leaders, being, what their priorities were?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to that speed is king type mentality, that automation has paid dividends throughout, all of Sterling's entirety, but especially in recent years. We invest north of $60 million annually into varying degrees of automation, primarily geared around criminal integrations at the individual county jurisdiction level. So we're to the point now where about 95% of all criminal records are going through some facet of automation, which not only makes things quicker, obviously, but it reduces and mitigates that human error element. So it's both faster and more accurate. We're always operating in varying shades of 99% accuracy. And that also helps with speed because it reduces the amount of disputes that an applicant may have. So, obviously with over 99% accuracy, there's less than 1% of applicants disputing, and even fewer than that are successful disputes. So all of that goes to that speed and that time to hire component, which is so crucial for our clients. And it also provides a better applicant experience to get it right the first time. The information's accurate right the first time. And really to expand on that applicant piece, we've made a concerted effort and a tremendous investment in ensuring that the applicant experience is first class and best in industry. And one of the ways we did that is listening to our clients, because, throughout surveying people, they always talk about, employee retention is extremely important. We're a huge extension of that. Oftentimes, our clients' applicants are interacting with our software before anything that the clients have to offer. You know what I mean? So we're branding our workflows and our applicant experience to match what our clients have. And the mobile optimized approach has ensured that, especially in retail, where we know that the retail applicants aren't as reliant on laptops and PCs, it had to be mobile optimized. So there's no pinching and zooming. They can get through it very quickly. And we've also found that all of this is measurable to a great degree. So it's not just like how quickly we're fulfilling orders and getting it back to the client. It's also how quickly are we communicating and interacting with applicants to get them to do what they need to do on their end and enter their information into our system so we can even start processing the order. And one of the newer technologies that we've incorporated over the last couple of years is the ability to text the applicants, which is crucial in retail, especially those high turnover positions. Many of those individuals aren't reliant on email addresses. They're not checking emails all day, which, wow, to live in that world would be awesome.
It is the world, though. I mean, I'm sure there's some people listening that might not even have an email address at this.
Exactly.
Might not.
Right. Which is why it was important for us to be able to communicate with those applicants in a way that's just natural to them.
Yeah.
So we're able to send or text out that link to that e-invite portion that they need to complete before we can even start the work there. And that's really drastically reduced. It's shaved in some instances 2 days off of turnaround times, because previously we were just waiting for that applicant to check the email. Well, now they're getting that text. And it's like, boom, we're jumping all over it. And again, we can measure all that, which is great. So if we have a client that previously was not texting applicants and now they are, we can show them the positive impact that's happened.
Love that.
That's occurring there. And so, like I said, we focused on that first and foremost, is that applicant experience based on client feedback, saying you're an extension of us, make that applicant experience great. And then we pivoted and we said, okay, that applicant experience is great. What can we do to bolster the client experience? So we have the client hub now, which people can tap into real time and have a dashboard there of open and closed orders, or they can tag their team members, maybe an adjudication committee where orders need some extra review, and just push that order to that individual. But on top of that, we forged really best-in-class partnerships with like ATS vendors, for example.
Yeah.
So we have plenty of, especially enterprise level clients, where they have the luxury of picking their ideal ATS, and that then turns into really a one-stop shop for all of our services. But they also have the benefit, should they want to still be able to log directly into our platform and take advantage of like our data and analytics reporting, as an example. So it's sort of the best of both worlds there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so incredible to get this data set back and to look at, what clients are telling us, what just other, general HR professionals, we've gone out and surveyed are telling us. But what's even better is that when we map out things like priorities for these individuals, Sterling is at the forefront of what these priorities are. And we're doing things, that example of the text message, with being mobile first, of course you're going to get your email on your phone, but with this specific industry, that example is so prime into just what has happened, current state, like what is happening today, and that just being at the front of it, that Sterling can provide that for the client, for the candidate, to make sure that the experience from start to finish is seamless and is quick and easy and just getting people in the door, because tying back to turnover, like you had said. So yeah. Really, really critical. So again, I loved looking at this data and being able to share it, but then also being able to share, Sterling being at the front is really incredible as well. So within the report, we looked at, what's going on today, what people are investing in, priorities are, what challenges are. We looked to the future. And we did ask these individuals kind of what does the future look like for them within 2 years, close future, maybe in a couple months, this year, 2024. So there's obviously going to be investments made in the future for these hiring programs for this particular industry. So as we look towards the future, from the report, what types of products are these HR teams within the retail space looking to invest in?
Yeah, one of the more interesting components I saw was that 21% are looking at incorporating identity services and really ensuring that person is who they are, which is great to see. It's a cutting edge technology, something that we just recently started offering, has really recently been available in the industry the last few years. So I would say just a couple years ago, that number would probably be at 5 to 8%.
Yeah.
To see it above 20% in just a very short period is great. And it really is a solution that can benefit clients in a number of different ways. Obviously, ensuring that person is who they say they are is great. And in doing so, it really only adds minimal time to the applicant experience. It's like 30 seconds additional time to really validate that person is who they say they are. But from there, because it locks in that PII, that personal identifiable information, the applicant can't manipulate that any further. So they can't enter in like a nickname or, have a typo on a date of birth. So what that means is good data in produces good data out. And we're seeing a significant increase in reportable records out to clients that are leveraging the identity solution in comparison to those that aren't, or even in comparison to themselves before they started leveraging the solution. So I'd say that's the main one that we saw that was noticeable. But then the higher percentage one was monitoring, continuous monitoring. So previously, this was accomplished and mainly concentrated within driving populations. And clients would maybe want to do an annual look back on drivers via a batch upload into our system, which is all well and good. It's better than doing nothing after the fact. But now we've been able to bolster that a couple different ways. One of them is through partnerships. So like with Beacon Insight, we can now integrate and manage things like driver qualification files in the DOT world and tying that into Samba safety, again, in the driving world for continuous monitoring. So it's just running in the background all the time. You don't need to worry about doing that annual batch upload.
Right.
You'll just get notified when applicable. Hopefully never, but when applicable. And then we took that a couple steps further, and we're applying that outside of the driving world. So we have plenty of retail clients that have positions like pharmacy technicians or veterinary technicians where they have licenses involved. And, they need to make sure that those licenses are up to date. We're able to apply monitoring there. Or even on the criminal aspect of things, for clients that have people interacting maybe in someone's home, like a delivery driver, or we have clients that go inside to people's homes and help assemble and set up furniture, as an example. Well, that's a very at-risk population of employees. And gee, wouldn't it be great to know what's going on after you first hire them?
Right.
And yes, we can help you there. So now we have clients segmenting out different populations of their employee base for services like that. And it's just not only cutting edge, but it's encouraging to see as a consumer that retailers are taking that interest in consumer safety.
Absolutely. And listen, I must say, with identity and with monitoring, if your eyes lit up when Jeff had mentioned that on this episode, I got to tell you, more is coming from Sterling there, and just being able to educate our audience around these two services. So just be on the lookout on our social pages, our website. If you want to talk to one of the experts that I have on Sterling Live directly, please reach out and do so. But again, more to come in both of those areas, a lot more than the examples that Jeff had just shared. But again, another for us, like, of course, that's what, people are wanting. So, and how can we get there to make sure that they have everything they need for a successful, end-to-end hiring program?
Right.
All right. Well, Jeff, you were an incredible partner with putting this research and report together. So thank you for that. But I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about how you're feeling about it and the data. I mean, of course, we're just reading out the data now and giving our findings, but, your actual insight and your thoughts behind it as you gathered data, spoke to clients. Now that the report is live, reading it after it's live, talking to colleagues, other people within, other experts within the industry. What did you find the most interesting about this report?
Yeah, the part I find most interesting is that regardless of retailer size or even subtype, brick and mortar versus online, everyone is by and large facing the same types of challenges and overcoming the same types of obstacles. And I was expecting it to be a little more differentiated than that based on size and subtype, but we're seeing consistent themes, which is a good thing, right? Because we have ways to help across the board there. But I think the thing that I love the most about this report is the simple fact that it exists mainly due to client participation and feedback. And then, because going back to the onset of the conversation, everyone asking, well, what's everyone else doing, and wanting that benchmarking information, we can't provide this type of information without participation. So for our clients to be able to pull back the curtain a little bit and divulge this and us to be able to compile this is just a testament to, I think, everyone within our retail sector looking to make the industry as strong as possible and really looking above just what they're doing themselves, but how can they extrapolate what they're doing well and help others, or conversely take what others are doing well and apply it within their own businesses. And I think where we really see the shine is a more recent initiative within our leadership councils that we now have, where it's virtual face-to-face interactions within our client base, within retail, where they can talk about identity or monitoring or whatever topic that we come up with in that given session. And they can not only hear it from Sterling and our recommendations, but from their peers. And I think that message is equally as impactful as what we have to say on the topic when they're hearing it from someone that's on their level, or it may be a company that they're aspiring to be, if they're a newer company or a smaller company looking to grow. I just love that the interaction within clients goes a long way, and I think that's invaluable. And it's also a shameless plug for upcoming
Of course.
leadership council coming later this year.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite thing that Sterling does across our different, industries. We've mentioned it many times on Sterling Live. And again, it's really awesome to see that we're bringing clients together across different industries even within industries, different types of companies and organizations, like retail, I think is a great example, smaller, larger ones, but facing some of the similar issues and just looking at someone and being like, yes, I need help with that as well. It is reassuring, and you can all collectively come to, an answer. And Sterling just being there to support, really just playing that support role. So again, it's one of my favorite things that we do as an organization. So I'm happy to get to prop that up. So probably more to come. I mean, Jeff, that's probably your next time on Sterling Live after our next leadership council.
And I echo your sentiment. I think it's very cool that we've been able to help facilitate relationships and help with networking in our client base. And then they carry on conversations, outside of the leadership councils and keep it going.
Of course. Yeah. It's truly, truly a great strategy and thing, that we put together for our clients. I 100% agree with you. So if you're watching live, real quickly, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, I'm going to call for questions one last time. If you do have any questions for Jeff, go ahead and get them into the comment section. As we wait for anything to come through, any final questions, I would love to get final thoughts from you on today's episode. So final thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to let clients and prospective soon-to-be clients know that if you're struggling with any of these issues that we're talking through, or you just want to bounce ideas off of somebody, we're here to help. And this report itself and the recommendations we have at any given time, they come at no cost. It's not like we charge for these things, but they can greatly save time, save money, really just optimize your background program as a whole. So I'm really hopeful that more clients take us up on this, because it's conversations that we love to have. And I also just want to thank the people that did participate. Again, this wouldn't exist without you. So thank you to the clients that did help with the benchmarking themselves. And for those that want follow-up information, don't be shy. Please follow up with us directly, and let's get a call on the books and talk through how we can help.
Always. You can always follow up with the experts that we bring on Sterling Live. I always encourage that. And yes, thank you, because we are always learning as an organization and as an industry as well within background screening and identity. So we couldn't do it without those that allow us to learn and to get that knowledge out there for all of you to see and to learn a little bit more yourself. If you do want to learn a little bit more about yourself, the report is live on our website, but you can also see it across our social media channels right now. If you're watching on LinkedIn, it is in the comment section of this live stream. You will see it on Facebook and YouTube shortly after today's episode, but you can see it everywhere. Get a copy. I definitely, listen, not only does the data look great, the report just looks great in general. So shout out to the team who put it together. The whole thing end to end, really, really awesome. Jeff, you've been on 3 times. If anyone would like to see your previous episodes, you walked through client success in the retail industry, really talking about how we approach supporting our clients end to end within this specific industry. And then also really hot topic now, aside from the trends that we saw today, is mergers and acquisitions in the retail industry. Jeff was also on an episode with me talking about that as well. So head on over to our YouTube channel where everything is streamed, and you can check out those 2 episodes along with today's episode as well, and all of our other ones. So I want to thank you, Jeff, for joining me on this episode of Sterling Live. I want to thank our live audience. I truly appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Stay tuned for the next episode on our social channels when we get it out there. But Jeff, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Caitlin. Happy to join. Looking forward to the next one.
Of course. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.